In previous lessons, we demonstrated how Program2BIM can be used to generate programmatic requirements for an airport from the database. Now we're going to generate an entire terminal with 10 gates and all the supporting spaces. We will include a metro station, a rental car center, and other elements. Even at this early stage of design, cost estimates are available. The gray boxes are aircraft support vehicles. There's a parking center and the rental car center, the check-in counters, TSA security, a gate for a single plane, retail, circulation, a gate for a large wide-body aircraft, and the lines between these spaces are adjacency requirements from a matrix that were entered into the database. The bubble diagram view of the same data. So the data is attached regardless of the 2D or 3D geometry. It's just basically a view that you turn on. You can see the equipment, the initial equipment requirements, the furniture and equipment that came from the owner that would say in a holding area, this is what we need. $93 million for this configuration, color-coded by department, and looking at operations, maintenance, cost, and utility summary. Even at this early stage, we can start having those discussions. Now with 10 gates, we've added more space and more square footage. The cost has gone up. We're checking to confirm that we have all the components that are needed from a functional perspective by turning on the bubble diagram view and the adjacency lines. Adjusting again, looking at the cost. We haven't resolved the design yet, but all the pieces are in place to start confirming if these pieces will fit based on the functional requirements from the owner. So we're starting to configure the spaces. There's the TSA spaces, the concourse after TSA security, laying those out, looking at the floor slab. This is an accelerated view. It takes about maybe 20 minutes to get to this point and maybe 30 minutes total for the total configuration. Now we're going to look at the hold rooms for each of the spaces. Each one has data associated with it in the default configuration that can be continued to be edited. Larger hold rooms, airline lounge, and now each gate put into position with the safety zones between each plane. So there's a massive amounts of data. It's impossible to know all this just offhand or to be able to research it quickly, but to have all these attached to components like this, to the graphic, you can quickly confirm if things fit before you continue on with the design. So all the gates are in place. It's starting to look like a terminal now. We're putting in the aircraft support vehicles, the assets that support the fueling and the restaurant trucks and the baggage containers. These are all actual sizes from the airport planning manual from the National Academy of Sciences, translated into a BIM. There's a restaurant space was added, and now we have on the lower left, we have some retail space that we can slot in between the gates. Those are retail spaces, and now the red is vertical circulation, elevators, escalators. Blue is the restrooms, 3 locations for restrooms. Now we can start having a discussion. Does this make sense actually? We can start looking at specific areas and saying, is it too large, is it too small, should the plane configuration be changed? You can quickly flip them around now that you have all the pieces in place and present it to the owner in a workshop charrette. All the while this is generating a BIM which can immediately be opened in other BIM applications like Revit, SketchUp, ArchiCAD, and even in the Onuma system that we're looking in right now, you can even do some adjustments before we take it out into more detailed BIM applications. This is bubble diagramming with detailed data. You can see edits that are being made now to work around the jogs and the spaces, confirming that things fit. And now is the completed cost estimate, $259 million for 10 gates. And the first and second floor were configured, the first floor being the arrivals level and early estimates, and now being placed on the site. We created a single loaded version as well and a double loaded, and we're confirming if it fits into this configuration, either as a renovation of an existing terminal or a new terminal. Looking at the site report now, the total cost, 2 buildings, operations cost and maintenance cost.